Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. If we could find our seats. We love an overflow crowd. Students, faculty, staff, alumni, and friends of Northwestern State University, I'd like to welcome everybody to this historic event. Yesterday at about noon in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the University of Louisiana Board of Supervisors unanimously voted the new president of Northwestern State University, Dr. Jim Henderson. For those of you all who couldn't make the ceremony yesterday in Baton Rouge, we have a short video of the highlights of yesterday's events.
I move that we appoint Dr. James Henderson, President of Northwestern State University, effective January 1, 2015.
Congratulations, Dr. Henderson. You have been selected to be the 18th President of the Northwestern State University, and we also welcome Northwestern's new First Lady at this time.
We're humbled with this opportunity to engage this wonderful institution in a new relationship. It has 130 years of rich tradition and heritage, and its best days are yet to come.
I think he's a visionary. You can tell he's a leader by what he's done at Dipsy.
I think we're really going to be a great team working for Northwestern and for the entire community.
I think that they're going to be a great addition to the Demon family. He brings so many new, innovative ideas.
I think this is a very pivotal point for our future here as a community and as a university.
I think we're going to have not only a great day today, we've got a lot of great days to come with Dr. Henderson and Tanya as part of our family.
It is a great week for Northwestern. When you go back to Saturday and the special win at Louisiana Tech, how well our kids performed and how well our marching band performed. And then to follow up with this, it's a great day to be a graduate of Northwestern.
I'm so excited for what the future holds for Northwestern under the leadership of Dr. Jim Henderson.
So forward to working with the faculty, staff, and the leadership at Northwestern, and the community of Natchitoches as we make Northwestern the premier regional university in the South.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to establish the format for today's press conference. Following the introduction of our new president, Dr. Henderson will make some comments, introduce his family, and take a few questions from the press. The new president will then be available for one-on-one sound bites in the interview area at the back table. We ask that you respect the working media who are trying to meet deadlines and allow them to get their comments from Dr. Henderson before we formally welcome him and congratulate him, because I know a lot of you want to do that. I'd like to thank all of you all for attending. Isn't this great? Look at this overflow crowd. This shows you the passion of Northwestern State University. I want to recognize a few folks that are with us today. Senator Gerald Long is in the audience with us. Senator Long, thank you so much for everything you did through this process. Representative Terry Brown. Representative Brown, thank you so much. such a key member of the University of Louisiana System Board of Supervisors, is our local representation on that board. Y'all give a big round of applause for Mr. Jimmy Long. Thank you, Mr. Long. We had some wonderful ex officio members on the board that did a great job representing our different interests at Northwestern and in the community. With us today, Ms. Lola Donahoe is president of the NSU Foundation. Mr. Joe Stamey, I saw Joe in the back somewhere. Joe, thank you so much, president of the Northwestern Alumni Association. They did a great job. Faculty, you will be very proud of the representation that we had on the selection committee. Dr. Massimo Bazzori, thank you so much for all your leadership. We have several members of the Northwestern State University board, Northwestern's board of directors for the NSU Foundation and the NSU Alumni Association board. Folks, will you please stand, our alumni and foundation board members who've joined us today. Several business leaders and other folks in the area. Mayor Lee Posey's with us. Mayor Posey, thank you so much. He traveled to Baton Rouge with us yesterday. Thank you, Mayor Posey. I saw Parish President Rick Nowlin in the audience. Rick, there you go. Rick, thank you so much. Tony Davis, Executive Director, Natchitoches Parish Chamber of Commerce. Tony? We also had a lot of regional representation throughout this process. I saw coming in a big supporter, Max LeComte of Coordinating and Development Corporation. Max. And folks, to the Demon Nation, as we call it, we had an outstanding student representative that you would be so very proud of. As a matter of fact, I thought we were going to lose her to Baton Rouge because they all fell in love with her, not only for the way she handled herself, but just the way that she represented our university. And it's my pleasure to introduce our student government president, who is now going to introduce our new president. But would y'all give a big thank you for our student government president, Ms. Kyla Winey. Kyla?
Dr. James Henderson has been Chancellor of Bossier Parish Community College since 2009. In that time, BIPSI has grown enrollment by more than 84% and increased annual certificate and degree completions by 90%. From 2011 to 2013, BPCC was among the 5 fastest growing community colleges in the nation, with enrollments of between 5,000 and 9,999. Under Henderson's leadership, the college created market-responsive programs in nursing, oil and gas technology, construction management, industrial technology, and engineering. Henderson was Senior Vice President, Workforce and Economic Development, Career and Technical Education for the Louisiana Community and Technical College System from 2005 to 2009. He served as appointing authority and chief executive officer of the LCTCS, comprised of 8 regional technical colleges serving more than 26,000 students. Under his leadership, the statewide technical college system with 42 individual accredited campuses was transitioned into 8 regionally accredited technical colleges. During Henderson's tenure, LCTCS enrollment grew by 98% and helped obtain more than $65 million in grants, appropriations, and private funding to enhance workforce development. In partnership with Louisiana Economic Development, Henderson helped create Louisiana Fast Start, the nation's top-ranked state workforce training program. From 2001 to 2005, he was Director of Administration and Director of Workforce Development for the Louisiana Department of Labor. Henderson was in the private sector for 10 years in hotel management. He worked for Mississippi Management Incorporated, Kimmons Wilson Companies, and Ryco Management, playing a leadership role as each company achieved record growth and profitability. A native of Shreveport, Henderson is a Northwestern State alumnus, as is his wife, Tanya. He earned a Master's of Science in Administration from the University of West Florida and a Doctor of Management from the University of Maryland University College. The Hendersons have 3 children, Reagan, Nicholas, and Alexander. On behalf of the students of Northwestern State, we are excited and honored as we welcome Dr. Henderson and our new First Lady, Ms. Tanya, to the Demon family once again.
Were y'all waiting on me? Thank you. Well, thank you very much. I hope that was a good introduction. We were outside and didn't hear any of it, but I'm sure it was wonderful. We were outside and I was looking at the current sauce, and someone handed me this article about me and Tanya coming to Northwestern. And I thought that was great, but then I saw it was on page 2. And I thought, well, there must be something very important on page 1. Yeah, huh? So, it's good to know that President Webb still has the priorities straight with student media, sir. I know you had a hard time when I was in student media doing that, but I appreciate you very much. Folks, we could not be more delighted to be here, and I say we. I'd like for 2 people to come up and join me real quick. This is my wife, Tanya, and my youngest son, Alexander. Please come up and welcome them. Alex wears a black suit and a purple tie to school every day, I can assure you. I can assure you. Thank y'all very, very much. We're just delighted to be here. Tanya and I, of course, met as students at Northwestern. She walked past me going to the hall to Vicki Parrish's voice and diction class. It took me about 10 seconds to realize that was the girl I was going to marry. It took her 2 years to ask me. And when she finally did, I said yes immediately, but I'm just so appreciative. So y'all please sit down.
We're thrilled to be back home.
Thank you. You know, my diploma was great to get from Northwestern, but that was really the real treasure that I found when I came here. Folks, we are just delighted to be here. We're delighted to be back in Natchitoches. We're delighted to be back on this beautiful campus of what I think is an institution that is primed to be the premier regional university in the nation. All of the ingredients are in place. The facilities are here, and Dr. Webb, who's been just a dear friend of mine for many, many years since I was a student, and most recently as we have our partnerships in education, has done a fabulous job of laying a great foundation. 130 years of history is pretty significant. And the last 18 of those have been some of the best that Northwestern has ever experienced, and they've laid the groundwork for us to truly achieve some wonderful things. And so I just wanted to thank you, President Webb, for a job well done, sir. And if there's any tough decisions left, I'd appreciate you making them this semester, if you don't mind. Okay. And you know, my dear friend who is the vice president and provost here at Northwestern is Lisa Abney, and I've worked with Lisa very closely. Thank you so much for being here today. Appreciate you. And folks, to be honest, I don't want to keep you very, very long. I know that you would like to hear a long-winded speech, and I'm going to disappoint you with that. Because I've got to tell you, a lot of what I want to talk about are conversations that are going to have to involve several people. It's not me talking to you. It's about us coming to a common understanding about who we want to be. It means having a lot of conversations with students, because you're the reason that we're here. It means having a lot of conversations with faculty who are our direct link with students. I think about the faculty that I had. I got an email earlier today from a guy named Rocky Calavito. And he called me Dr. Henderson. And I was thinking, well, Rocky, you called me Jim 21 years ago. You called me, hey, you, actually, when you walked in the classroom. And are you going to get this assignment done on time or whatever? But Rocky it was his first tenured job as a professor in English. When I was here, he actually was named in one of my classes as the director of the writing laboratory. And why does Rocky stand out to me? Because I just had him for a technical writing class is all, but he had this energy. He had this charisma. He had this focus on delivering instruction in a way that didn't just have a student get a grade, but transformed the student into something more than he was when he started. And I bring up Rocky because he's just, I think, emblematic of all of the faculty that exist at this wonderful institution. And I can name them, and I named several in the interview process: Sarah Burrows, Fraser Snowden, Gary Ross, Ray Wallace. Ray was a big Irish guy. One time he did the Scholars College. He had a class with a bunch of secondary education majors. And he gave this quiz that was impossible for anybody to answer. And then he ridiculed people at the end of the quiz when they didn't know the answers. There were 47 students. We came back, there were 20 students the second day of class. And he says, now that I've got this class at a manageable level, we'll start talking about composition. And everybody was scared to death. But that was just Ray. But he transformed who I was as a student. And that's an amazing part. And then, of course, the city of Natchitoches. Northwestern without the city of Natchitoches is so much less than it is. And Natchitoches without Northwestern is not Natchitoches. The two are inextricably linked. And what a wonderful resource that is for this university to reside in what I think is one of the finest small communities that exist in the entire Louisiana Purchase. It was first and it's best. And so we're delighted to be here in Natchitoches. I want to tell you something. I don't have a strategic plan. It's way premature for us to do that. But I do have some general notions that I think that we can all agree on that we need to strive towards. One is that at Northwestern, we need to have a student experience that is second to none. This institution should be the #1 destination for a student that's looking to get a college education. And whether that's you want to go into the Scholars College and get a world-class liberal arts education, or if you want to come to the finest nursing school that exists in the country, or if you want to become a teacher with the absolute best preparation possible to be a teacher, this is the institution you should go to. But outside of the classroom, you should have a student life that is fun, safe, but fun, and you should want to be here. And we're going to create that environment building on what we already have in place. I thoroughly enjoyed every minute we had here as students, some more than I should have, but we enjoyed every single one of those minutes. Second, we're going to have valuable degrees. When you leave with your diploma, that diploma needs to be currency that can be used in the marketplace. Whether that's to go to an advanced degree, whether that's to go to employment, that diploma means something more than just the name of this institution and your name. It's valuable. And of course, the people that hold that value in their hands and can increase that value more than any other is our faculty, and they own that. And as those degrees increase in value, that means my degree increases in value, and every other student that has come through this university, their degrees increase in value. It's so important. And third, we are going to be inextricably linked to the employer community. We've got an unprecedented opportunity in the state of Louisiana to grow. We have got $60 billion in industrial expansion in Lake Charles alone. That's huge. But the only way we're actually going to realize that is if we're developing the talent, they can take advantage of that. And we're going to develop talent. You look at the talent that's in this room right now. I challenge any economic developer that's looking to where to put a site, to bring a client to put a site, to come in this room, and they'll see the value that exists in this room. It's tremendous. And so, folks, all of the pieces are in place for us to have a truly beautiful future. You know, someone asked me what I want to do the first 100 days, and I said we want to lay the foundation for the next 1,000 days. It is truly an honor. It is deeply humbling. It is more than just a little bit exciting for me and Tanya to come to the place where it all started for us, Northwestern State University. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for believing in this institution. And I just want to say, fork 'em demons. Thank you very much.
Wow. Do we have an exciting future or what? At this time, we're going to ask, some of the media may have some questions. I'm going to ask Dr. Henderson to stay up here a few more minutes and let the media ask their questions.
You guys aren't this polite in Shreveport. No.
How excited are you? How do you feel to be back here at your old school?
You know, when Dr. Webb first announced that he was retiring, I thought, you know, that might be an opportunity we'd be interested in. And I talked with Tanya, and she said, that would be kind of exciting. But when we stepped foot on the campus during the interview process, we were overwhelmed with the memories that we have, the feelings we have for this institution. It's such a special place. It's hard to put it into words, but I can tell you that we have never been this excited about an opportunity before. This is a beautiful place. There's not another place that could lure me away from Bossier Parish Community College, because that is a special organization. But this is Northwestern, and that is truly, truly a special place for us. So thank you for that question. Yes, ma'am.
When will you be on campus?
Other than today. Yeah. You know, Dr. Webb and I are gonna visit Monday and talk about some transition ideas and some protocols and things. I imagine that hopefully he'll allow me on campus a number of times between now and then. We've got an invitation to a football game that we would be excited to attend. But we'll be officially on campus in our official position January 1st. Since that's a holiday, it might be the 2nd, but that time frame. Other questions? No? Well, yes, ma'am.
Is there anything you have left to accomplish at BIPSI before you transition over here?
Yes. To have the 7th consecutive record graduating class this December. And we're going to do that. We're going to graduate nurses that are, I'm going to leave that alone. We're going to graduate nurses. Boy, you caught me in the middle of the rhetoric here. I got to change this up. But we're going to graduate students that are better prepared for the workplace than any community college in the country. And yeah, how was that? Was that safe? You got to be a little bit nimble. You got to be a little bit nimble. And folks, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize a gentleman who was instrumental in the growth and development of this college for many, many decades. He was in the state legislature when I was a student. He's now one of my bosses on the University of Louisiana System Board. But please give a Northwestern welcome to Jimmy Long and his wife, Dot. Thank y'all very much for being here. The Long name is legendary, and he has a younger brother. I guess it's younger. That's my dear friend and alum, Gerald Long, and his wife, Rose. Thank y'all very much for coming. Rose is from the metropolis of Gaydon, Louisiana, which is only important to me because that's where my wife, Tanya, is from. It's from Gaydon, Louisiana. And the first time we had spring break here at Northwestern, she asked me to come down and visit her parents. And so I drove before Interstate 49 was finished to Gaydon, Louisiana. I didn't think I would ever quit driving. But when I got out of the car, her mother had a crab and shrimp gumbo, and that's the day I proposed, I think. And she hasn't made it again since, I don't believe it. But thank y'all both for being here. Thank you. Is there any other questions for me? Well, folks, let me just wrap it up for me saying how delighted we are to be here. You know, the office of the president is different than the occupant of that office. And we hold that office in high esteem. And it deserves a lot of respect. But you'll see me walking around on the ground because I'm just Jim, right? And we're going to get to know each other very, very deeply, very well, and we're going to work together to make this just the premier university that it can be. Thank you very, very much.
At this time, we have a couple of presentations that we'd like to present here. Abigail, if you'll come on up, we want to start with our students. And Jim, you can stay seated. Tanya, would you come up, please?
On behalf of Sigma, 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 and all of the Northwestern Greek community, we would just love to welcome our Tri Sigma sister back, Ms. Tanya Henderson, as well as Dr. Henderson, back to Northwestern.
Dr. Henderson recognized him earlier, but I want to certainly do that again and invite him up to the podium for just a second. For the past 18 years, we've been very blessed with great leadership in our executive office. Another round of applause as he comes up, Dr. Randall Webb, our outgoing president.
This is a wonderful day for Brenda and me. Brenda, where are you? There, because Brenda and I hold Dr. and Mrs. Henderson and their family, including Jim's parents, in the highest esteem. And being a Southern Baptist, I was almost called upon there in my own mind to issue a number of amens to what he was saying. I believe in this man. He's going to be an outstanding president. Some of you, maybe, some people in Northwest Louisiana are Natchitoches, or some Northwestern employees or students may not know the significance of this. But I'm going to tell you, when I was tweeting after the game, I called it historic. But I was taken aback the next day when the town talk said it was monumental. I like that better. But that was a team effort. And that's exactly what Dr. Henderson is promising to each and every one of us. And that's going to add to all of the good things. Probably a minute to 2 minutes after the final gun of the ball game Saturday, I got my first text message, and that was from my friend, Dr. Jim Henderson, congratulating Demons everywhere for what a big victory that is. As many of you know, there are at least 2 iconic sites or locations on our campus. Our beautiful entrance that's been with this school from the beginning. Also, the columns, 3 of the original 4 columns of the Bullard Mansion on Normal Hill. Those are 2 extremely important sites that are near and dear to all of us who cherish Northwestern. And speaking of the entrance itself, I want to, Chris, do I have, yeah, thank you. Well, every now and then we learn as college presidents that we have to adjust and be flexible in life. Actually, let's just say that the columns themselves are the most iconic of all sites on our campus, and that we want to recognize the Hendersons in a special way by providing them one of Grady Harper's beautiful prints of the columns, as so many of us remember them from bygone days. So if Dr. Henderson would come forward, we'll provide them something for their home. We began a tradition here on the Hill a few years ago when we were finding ways, additional ways to honor exceptional people or exceptional occasions. Today we have both. We've got exceptional people in Jim and Tanya Henderson, and it's one heck of a special occasion. So tonight, in their honor, we are going to light the columns purple, and we're going to give them a certificate commemorating this occasion.
Dr. Webb, thank you so very much. We all know, as we've heard several times throughout the talk, how important the athletics department is to Northwestern. I'd like to call up our athletics director, Mr. Greg Burke, for another presentation.
Thank you, Chris. On behalf of the NSU Athletic Department, and I'm real proud of the student athlete, staff, and coaching representation in the room right now. Dr. Henderson, we welcome you and your family to Northwestern. As it's already been said several times today, we kicked a game winner in Ruston on Saturday night, and your appointment today, your announcement today in our minds represents another game winner. So we're really looking forward to working with you. As we like to say in athletics, game on. And to signify that, we have a game jersey for you. And I want to note something real quick. Just like that football win, it was about the football team, but it was about our university, our students, our community, and our alumni. This is a football jersey, but this isn't just from the athletic department. This university will move forward with all of us together saying game on with Dr. Henderson as our leader. Fork 'em.
It's going to make me put it on.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our press conference. As we said earlier, I know a lot of people want to give the Hendersons some warm congratulations and welcome to Natchitoches and Northwestern, but we're going to ask if you just give them a few minutes. We're going to escort them back over here to the podium. And I want to say one thing. If y'all will all look back to the back part of the room and notice what we say at Northwestern. I want to end on this. It says, Northwestern State, students today and leaders tomorrow. What better examples than these two students from the 1990s? Students, them, and leaders tomorrow. We thank y'all so much. We appreciate everybody coming here. We want to make sure everybody stays around, but at this time we'll ask the Hendersons and the media to the back of the room, and we'll let them finish the press conference here. Thank you so much.